What up? It's me. Yeah, sick. Anyways, so today I was thinking I would rank the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies because I'm a really big fan of them. And yeah, I know no one watches these, but I still like making them. So alright, let's get into it. Oh, and by the way, spoilers from here on out. Just so you know, if you haven't seen some of these movies, some of the things I say might be spoiling. So, yeah. So coming in at number 17, yeah, 17, is Iron Man 2. So, this movie is I just think it's a pretty downright bad movie. I feel like I didn't really like Tony Stark in it. I didn't like the story too much. It kind of felt like a commercial for the Avengers. I know back then, that was all the hype was getting ready. They needed to have at least one movie like that, but the movie itself didn't really turn out well, and I didn't think the villain was very interesting. I didn't really care about him at all, so this is why it comes in at number 17. So coming up next at number 16, we have The Incredible Hulk. Yeah. So this movie is, I just think it's kind of boring. Hulk isn't really Hulk for a lot of the movie. It's just kind of, it feels like it was like deja vu because the movie before this was just very similar, and this movie really has no connection to the MCU. The actor Ed Norton changes in the Avengers. It's a different actor, and it just doesn't really have anything really connected to anything. Like, if you ask someone, like, if they thought that this was in there, they probably would say they didn't know, because it doesn't really feel like it fits in with everything. And the only reason that this is really above Iron Man 2 is because that end fight with Abomination and Hulk I thought was pretty sick. So yeah, far out. Alright, coming up next at number 15, we have Thor. So this movie, and yeah, don't get me wrong and stuff, I think this movie is a pretty good movie. All the movies on from this point up, I think are all great movies and stuff. So yeah, the main reasons I didn't care for this one as much as other ones, I just feel like Thor getting his power taken away for most of the movie, being on Earth most of the time, and just, I don't know, just how he just wasn't in space a lot of it. And when he finally gets his power back, that's when the movie I think gets really cool. This movie actually, surprisingly, some of the parts are pretty funny, I think. So yeah, just yup. Alright, so coming up next at number 14, we have Captain America: The First Avenger. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for putting it here, sort of low. It's not because I don't like this movie. I thought this movie was great. It was such a great way to introduce Captain America. Steve Rogers as just a nerdy little kid, and man, Chris Evans, how in this movie they got Chris Evans' face on a skinny kid's body, and it was such a cool transformation and stuff. I thought Red Skull was a very, very cool villain. I was sad they had to kill him off, but I don't think he's actually dead. I'm hoping he's not dead. I'm hoping that one day he can return or something like that, because he just got blasted into space by the Tesseract at the end of the movie, and he could still be out there. So, and I really like Bucky Barnes in this movie. Yeah, I thought it was really cool how his transformation to the Winter Soldier in the next movie. That was really cool. I like the whole setting of this movie. You actually feel like you're in that, they're in that war. It was really just a cool storyline. I think the beginning of the movie went a tiny bit slow, but that was okay because it paid off really well. So yeah, the first Avenger is at number 14. Next up, we have Ant-Man. I thought this movie was a very fun movie. It was a good change of pace after Age of Ultron stuff, because it didn't have much involvement at all with the whole universe. It was just a standalone movie, and I liked that. This is it's a very funny movie. I really enjoy a lot of it. I wanted Ant-Man to, I don't know, like shrink more. I mean, in like the beginning and stuff, and I didn't really enjoy a lot having like. It just felt like Ant-Man at sometimes was like almost like he wasn't needed there. Like Wasp, I mean the actor of Wasp, oh yeah, I think her name was Hope or something like that. Yeah, she like could have wielded the suit like perfectly, and then the whole movie they wouldn't have had to train anyone if like Hank just let her do it in the beginning, which I thought that just it kind of just felt like they didn't exactly like need Ant-Man. That's just me. And well, yeah, I think that Paul Rudd did a great job as being Ant-Man. He's very funny. I'm not a big fan of the comic books of Ant-Man. I know Hank Pym is actually Ant-Man in them, but I think that Paul Rudd did a good job being Ant-Man. I think Yellow Jacket in this movie, I guess he's an okay villain. He just sometimes his motives seem kind of stupid and stuff, but I don't know. That's just me. So yeah, Ant-Man is coming in at number 13. All right, coming in next up at number 12, we have Doctor Strange. Whoo, baby, this movie has some great effects. It is so fun to look at. It just is. It was so just like incredible. Like all of the fight scenes are just so creative and trippy looking and stuff. I thought this movie I liked this movie. I had a few issues with it. I wasn't a huge fan of really the storyline. I thought that the villain was hyped up so much, but then he beat him like he was nothing when he hadn't been fully trained yet and stuff. But I mean, who cares? The villain was lame-o anyways. I really thought that the Ramondu part was really funny. Like that was just like the villain literally gave up because he got annoyed with Doctor Strange. Oh yeah, and I think that Doctor Strange in this movie, the actor they picked was great. I think that I'm just really excited for him to be a new big character in the MCU. He's a really well established character. So. Anyways, this movie is coming in at number 12. Alright, next up we have Iron Man. Now, Iron Man was the first MCU movie that was made. If this movie didn't turn out well, we wouldn't have this incredible universe we have right now. Like, this movie was crazy. It was such a great movie, and it set up the entire universe. This was the first MCU movie I saw. And when I saw it first, I thought it was so awesome. I still do and stuff, but now that there've been so many others, it's not like as incredible. And I think that Iron Man in this one is my favorite out of all of them. He's just so funny and sarcastic, and he's so just awesome. Like one of my favorite scenes in this one is when he breaks out at the beginning in that like his very first suit, and he just burns everything. That part was, and then he flies up and then he falls. His suit breaks and he just falls down. That part is hilarious. I think the villain in this movie, for like the first MCU movie villain, I don't think he's that bad. He's just not that special either. He's just like kind of forgettable. Like I don't really know, but yeah, he was an okay villain. And yeah, so what else? Yeah, I just think that this was a good movie, and that's why it's coming in at number 11, I believe. So now we have another Iron Man movie, Iron Man 3. I know people do not like this movie, and I have an unpopular opinion because I do like this movie. I really liked it my first time. I'm not a big Iron Man fan, so I can't hate it for the reason everyone else does, that everyone says the Mandarin was such a great villain in the comics, and they change him midpoint. And I admit that was stupid, but I think that the fire villain, what was his name again? I can't remember, but I thought they were okay villains. I like in this movie how it kind of just shows the Tony Stark that he can make do without his suits, and it was kind of just like, it was almost like the ending kind of almost made you feel like he was done being Iron Man, but he wasn't. But I just think that this movie kind of just shows that Iron Man is a hero and stuff. And I think that this movie has some great action scenes, and I like this movie. So it's coming in at number 10. Okay, now we have another movie that a lot of people dislike very much. We have Thor: The Dark World, and yes, again, I like this movie also. I like this movie a lot. I thought that this movie had some great action scenes, and I thought that I liked Thor a lot better in this one. Jane and Darcy were really annoying, and the villain was just trash. But the main parts that I thought it shined was just like the scenes with Loki and Thor, and the action scenes when they're fighting the Dark Elves. Like, I think that's pretty entertaining. I do not like the end fight. I don't really like how Malekith gets defeated. I just think that it was just kind of a lame way to end it. But I don't know. I like this movie. I also thought one of my favorite scenes in the movie is like the prison escape scene. That one's so cool. Just like how, yeah, I don't know. I like this movie also. So this one's coming up at number 9. Alright, next up at number 8 we have Avengers: Age of Ultron. So this movie I think is so awesomely action packed. If you just want a movie and you don't really care about other things, you just want a movie with a lot of action and a good villain, just go to this one. But for me, the only reason the flaws I had with it was I thought it had, in a way, too many things happening at once, too many plot holes of different movies coming up, too many characters. I mean, I know Civil War did it marvelously, but this one just had a problem. It didn't give all the characters enough screen time that they deserved. And another big thing I had with it, spoiler, but I didn't like how they introduced Quicksilver, a brand new character, and then just killed him off right in the first movie they introduced him in. It just seemed kind of useless to even bother introducing him. But yeah, so I think I thought that the trailers made him look too intimidating. He was more funny, but in the end, like, my first time watching it, I just thought he was kind of stupid but annoying, because the trailers hyped you up for this creepy robot that's like insane. There's no strings on me, but he kind of turned out just he still, some parts were like that, but he was not like it described him. But second time viewing, I liked it a lot better. Let's see. I thought that Vision and Scarlet Witch were good investments. They're good characters. You get to know them more in Civil War. Yeah, I like them as characters. But yeah, just this movie's coming in at number 8. I think